Hey, what's going on people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video I'll be covering why you should play Vex in Borderlands 4. If you haven't yet, make sure to check out the video on aiming, and the aim here is to give you a complete overview of each Vault Hunter, their skills, key interactions, background, etc. So you can be confident that you are picking the right Vault Hunter to play first, second, third, or what have you. Today it's vexing time. I'm so sorry. Let's crack into it. There's been a siren in every Borderlands game, and in Borderlands 4 that's no different, with Vex filling the slot as our playable siren. However, she is far from your typical one, and we'll get to why a little later. She became a Vault Hunter to get away from her day job, and is new to her siren powers, discovering them at a pretty opportune time. If you haven't seen the video, it's great, I'll link it in the description, but essentially she was working her job in retail, trying to push those warranties, when Borderlands 4's version of a Black Friday day sale began out of nowhere. Things got completely out of control, as I guess it does every time a mercenary sale happens, and the stress of the whole thing caused her siren powers to rush to the surface, where she sliced and diced everyone in the room. I'm sure we've all been in a similar situation. Although she appears cynical and sarcastic, she's also empathetic, with her outlook on life moulded by her rough upbringing, as she's one to understand how bad things can get. As I said before, she's not your typical siren. Not only is she new to her powers, but her powers are also vastly different. The sirens we've played as in previous Borderlands games all revolve around abilities that affect the battlefield. Think Maya's Phase Lock or Amara's Phase Flare, Phase Slam, and Phase Cast. They either deal direct damage to something or take enemies out of action. Vex, however, has action skills that add to the battlefield, and she can do that through her ability to summon minions. She can summon Trouble the Cat, who will pounce on opponents, dealing damage in an area, or summon phase clones in the form of specters that deal gun damage and cannot move, or reapers that wield massive scythes and deal melee damage. This offers a lot more interactivity between her and her siren powers, and that is riddled throughout her skill trees. You're able to mold your minions through augments. For example, you can pick Hellish Harvest for your reapers, granting them the ability to regenerate health and therefore make them last longer, or give them the ability to shatter some fine crystal with Banshee Whale, granting nearby allies with Overshield. Of course, with the Dark Pact Capstone, there is even the option to equip 2 augments if you simply can't decide. At a basic level, if you want to focus on gun damage with phase clone support, then you go Spectres. If you want to focus on melee damage, then Reapers are for you. And if you're looking for a fierce feline friend with a knack for landing criticals and can activate beast mode, then there is always Trouble the Cat. If you're a fan of summoning and using what you have summoned to increase the damage of yourself and the spectral companions that have just joined you, then what can I say, Vex is definitely the Vault Hunter for you. Because Borderlands 4 has the biggest skill trees in the series' history, Vex doesn't end there. Far from it. She also has an ability called Phase Explosion, which she can activate through the Incarnate action skill, where she will gain movement speed and the ability to use Eldritch Blast, an ability more akin to the siren powers we're used to. What I love about this skill and the Vexcalation skill tree in general is its leech abilities. Eldritch Blast normally has a cooldown, but when spec'd into Heart Piercer, it doesn't, at the cost of health. But there's plenty of skills that allow you to leech through dealing kinetic damage. Now, kinetic damage is non-elemental damage, think the Skullmasher or many Jacob's weapons for that matter, and what I absolutely love about Vex is how she subverts elemental expectations and gives a huge reason to go kinetic, i.e. non-elemental, which there really has never been before. And what could be better than draining the very life force of your targets to make yourself stronger? She truly is a dark siren after all, and it's great. There's not just a reason to use kinetic though, but every single element. Aside from her trait Phase Covenant that enables you to charge your minions with the element of your currently equipped weapon at summoning time, and all melee damage for that matter, Radiation, Fire, Cryo, Corrosive, and Shock each have their own unique bonuses, so if you wanted to build around or simply lean into any of them, you can. Radiation increases her splash damage and maximum shield capacity. Incendiary or Fire increases critical hit damage of her and her minions, as well as status effect application chance. Corrosive summons even more minions in the form of haunting remnants that seek out enemies, causing corrosive status effect damage over time. Cryo restores ammo and ordnance cooldown, and Shock increases movement speed and gun damage while moving. This is just the attunements themselves. Each one has skills that expand your playstyle with that element, with the kill skill to spawn even more remnants that explode, dealing cryo ordnance damage after an action skill defeats an enemy or you do so using ordnance, or the chance to deal incendiary melee damage when you or your minions punch an enemy. And of course, every element has a skill you can spec into that increases their overall damage output. It's great because where most benefits in previous games would stop at the enemy being weaker to that element, Vex rewards you more for aligning with a particular element or two, or hey, maybe even three. You will always get some kind of benefit when using the elements you want to focus on, and I think that's great for the player. When it comes to Vex's playstyle, she's definitely not summon and forget. As I mentioned before, players will be rewarded for managing their summoning well. Not only do you want to position your phase clones well, you also want to provide them with the best element at summoning time. You'll want to time Phase Covenant to perfection, as that will give you an edge in every battle. Borderlands 4's skill trees are the deepest we've ever seen, but Vex's skill trees somehow seem to go beyond that. With all her element bonuses, her summoning capabilities, and of course her different siren powers on top of that through augments and capstones, there's a lot of synergies and interactions within Vex herself, but also between her and her minions. So if you go the minion route or you channel everything into Vex and her traditional siren powers, you certainly won't be short of build crafting opportunities. Whether you're running and gunning, feeding on the life of your enemies with Eldritch Blasts and kinetic weapons, or summoning gun damage specters, melee damage reapers, or trouble, Vex also feeds her gameplay loop into a new item called Rep Kits, with skills dotted throughout her skill trees to support this interaction. Rep Kits are a new type of consumable that can have multiple charges and slowly recharge after use. Aside from providing health, they can also provide temporary combat buffs and alter combat further through their ability to roll with perks. Because of the limited nature of their use, timing is crucial, but it becomes even more crucial when you build Vex with Rep Kits in mind. She has skills like Restorative Tonic, which grants her increased shield regeneration after using a Rep Kit, or Fiendish Invigoration, which grants her and her minions increased movement speed and fire rate after use. Of course, there's even a skill to increase the overall cooldown rate of your Rep Kits, so I definitely see these as having the potential to be an important part of any Vex build. Overall, Vex offers a variety of ways to play that increase your hold on the battlefield. Whether it's summoning support to overwhelm your enemies or leeching their life points directly, you won't be short of options in any encounter.